Hi, welcome back. You're tuned to Trading Hour on CNBC TV18. Well, the second COVID wave and strict restrictions and localized lockdowns are likely to impact the microfinance sector. To understand what the situation on ground is and how are MFIs prepared to deal with disruptions, we have with us Mr. Alok Misra, who is the CEO and Director of Microfinance Institutions Network. Mr. Misra, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on CNBC TV18. Well, that's precisely my question. Because of second wave, are you seeing that the collections in the sector, they are dipping? There is an impact on the ground?
Good morning, Sonal. Thanks for having me here. As of now, I was just, before coming to this call, I was speaking to the prominent members and getting the feedback from the field. As of now, we do not see an impact. The collections are 90% plus. So as of now, I would say not much impact at all India level. But in some places like Chhattisgarh, in some districts where there is a hard lockdown, there is small issues. Some pocketed issues are there. But overall, still no issues. And primarily riding on the fact that, as you remember, in the last year, when the COVID wave struck, the microfinance institutions and NBFCs were declared as essential services by Government of India. And we have been operating even within the lockdown areas with the permission of the state government and the central government with taking adequate COVID protocol. So as of now, nothing to be very serious about.
All right, Mr. Misra, hi. Good morning, Prashant here. So far no impact, but what is the feedback from members if the situation persists for some time? Because, a lot of small businesses, etc., very small, some of them, which borrowers operate, they're not essential, they're not categorized as essential. So unless people work, how will they repay loans they've taken from MFIs or, for that matter, anyone else, but MFIs in particular, because that's a segment that they work with?
Yeah. So good question, Prashant. Regarding the future, how the situation pans out, we are keeping a close watch on it. But as regards the business of our customers, the microfinance customers, if you look at the profile of the customer, some would be having a flour grinding machine, or somebody would be selling vegetables, or somebody would have a grocery shop, or somebody would be in agriculture, especially in rural and semi-urban areas. And these are mostly the services which will continue. So the major chunk of it comes from the essential services in which they are engaged. And that is the primary reason that even during the first wave and despite the moratorium, the client activation levels in the industry has reached 95% plus, and the recoveries are currently 90%. But your question about the future, that the daily cases which we are seeing and what the response will come in terms of a hard lockdown and whether the containment zones will be strictly enforced all over India, we will have to keep a watch on the situation. But as of now, what I said earlier, that we are not seeing any major difference from last year.
Mr. Misra, so can you give us an idea of what the situation is like now in terms of sectoral breakup? Where are you seeing the maximum number of inquiries coming from, and where have you seen a dip, if at all, right now?
Sonal, in terms of inquiries, you mean credit inquiries or?
Yes, credit inquiries.
No, well, credit inquiries are similar to pre-COVID area. And just to give you a figure, in Q3, the data which we have, that is October, November, December, the total disbursement of the microfinance sector, which includes NBFC, MFIs, banks which are active in microfinance, and small finance banks, touched roughly around 60,000 crores, which is comparable to the Q3 figure of 1920. So things were already normal in Q3, though no growth was seen, and that is expected. And in Q4, when the data comes in, we expect a little jump also over the previous year. So credit inquiries as of now are continuing to be on the similar lines to pre-COVID times. Liquidity is a concern, especially for smaller players, and that is where we are focusing on, because at this time of stress, clients in rural areas, they need some relief, they need some credit to strengthen their livelihoods, and we are in discussions with Reserve Bank of India and other institutions and lenders to ensure that the liquidity continues to flow.
Mr. Misra, especially two states, West Bengal and Assam, right, where Bandhan, for example, is a very large player, the largest in the sector as well. What is the situation on the ground? Is there even with regards, at the time of elections, I mean, the chief minister, there was a bit of a flip-flop in terms of communication. Party manifestos in Assam had not mentioned anything about loan waivers, but especially from the microfinance space. Then I think the chief minister of Assam in a speech said that that will be the case. They will consider waivers. And now you got this big COVID wave, right? What is the feedback from players in that area, in that region, West Bengal and Assam both?
Yeah. So first I will tackle Assam. See, Assam has been up and down since last 8 years or so. And since the introduction of the microfinance bill, which you all know, and the various promises made during the election campaign, the situation is not good. And I must say that the recoveries have come down to from a national average of 90 plus. In Assam, they are hovering around 50 plus. So that's a situation which is I would say serious, and we are keeping a track of it and trying to do as best, engaging with the state government, engaging with the Reserve Bank of India as well as Government of India on it. So that situation will become clearer after 2nd May. On West Bengal, except for some pockets, there were some cases, the collection efficiency is okay, and the banks and the institutions there, the loan sizes also, if you see, earlier there was a concern of that higher ticket loan sizes even within the limit permissible under microfinance by Reserve Bank of India. So that also, if you see the data, that also institutions have started deleveraging. There are smaller size loans, and in collection efficiency in West Bengal at present, I do not see any concern. But yes, Assam, because of extraneous factors, not because of COVID, the concern is very serious.
Yeah, got it. We got the numbers, the last collection efficiency numbers, which, I mean, March, which actually look pretty good. My question is, how much of what we are seeing in March, because March is a large disbursement quarter as I understand it, and old loans may be regularized as we move from one cycle to the other. How much of this collection efficiency is regularization of old loans, and this is, and how much do you think is genuine sort of jump in collections?
Okay. See, that is the data which is very difficult to decipher, I would say. But based on whatever I hear from that, I would say that between resolution of loans, which was permitted under the regulatory regime of Reserve Bank of India, and the fresh loans, the split would be somewhere around 75-25. So 75 on fresh loans, which were actual recoveries, and then and 25% distressed customers were given resolution by way of extended period of repayment tenures.
Okay. All right, Mr. Misra, thank you so much for joining us and updating us on what the situation is like on the ground as far as the MFI sector is concerned. He says that there's not much impact as of now as far as collections are concerned. They're still at 90% plus levels. Let's see which way things go. But with that